Listen, everybody wants to win until they realize what winning costs. Everybody talks about greatness until it asks for payment in discipline, in early mornings, in lonely nights, in the kind of repetition that makes the ordinary extraordinary. See, success doesn't belong to the talented. It doesn't bow to the gifted. It surrenders only to the consistent. The world doesn't reward the one who starts fast. It rewards the one who refuses to stop. The problem is, most people want results, not repetition. They crave the glory but despise the grind. They want to look like the lion, but they're afraid to hunt like one. You say you want success, but are you ready to wake up every day when no one's watching, doing the same small, unexciting things that no one will ever applaud you for? Until one day, they call you an overnight success. There are no overnight successes. Only people who were invisible long enough to become undeniable. Edison didn't stumble upon the light bulb. He failed 1,000 times, but each failure was a brick in his consistency. Ford didn't build an empire by dreaming. He built it by showing up in the workshop day after day, driven by a vision so loud that excuses couldn't be heard over it. Walt Disney was fired for lacking imagination. Imagine that, a man who would later build worlds that billions still dream inside. Every legend you've ever admired, every name etched into the walls of history, was built on relentless consistency. Because here's the truth, consistency isn't sexy. It's not glamorous. It's not the grand speech or the highlight reel. It's not the viral clip or the applause. It's repetition. It's patience. It's doing it again and again until the world finally wakes up to what you've been building in silence. You see, anyone can sprint, but only the disciplined can endure the marathon. The real test isn't how strong you are today. It's whether you can keep showing up when the fire burns out, when motivation fades, and when nobody claps. That's what separates dreamers from achievers. Dreamers need a reason to move. Achievers move until the reason appears. Let me tell you, the universe doesn't respond to intentions. It responds to patterns. You can't wish your way into greatness. You have to train your way there. Every single day, you say you want to be great, then build habits that refuse to take days off. You say you want success, then give it consistency, because consistency compounds. Like interest in a bank, every small action builds on the last, until one day, it erupts into results so powerful that even you can't believe how far you've come. That's why discipline beats motivation, because motivation is an emotion, and emotions change. But discipline is a decision. It's a promise you make to yourself and refuse to break. You don't need to be the most talented. You just need to be the most consistent. Remember, the one who digs the well deepest is the one who finds water, not the one who digs the widest. Stop chasing new strategies every week. Stop searching for shortcuts. Master one thing and do it until mastery becomes your signature. That's how greatness is born. That's how history remembers you. Because consistency, relentless, unshakable, daily consistency, is the bridge between the invisible and the unforgettable. The truth is, most people quit not because the goal was impossible, but because they got tired of the routine. They confuse boredom with failure. But hear me, boredom is not a sign that you're losing. It's proof that you're building. The mind will always crave novelty, but progress requires repetition. That's why champions don't chase excitement. They chase execution. They've learned to fall in love with the process, not the prize. Every time you show up when you don't feel like it, you're not just working on your craft. You're strengthening your character. You're telling your future self, I'm reliable. I keep promises. I don't break when it gets hard. And that's what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary: self-trust. You can't become unstoppable if you don't believe in your own consistency. Confidence doesn't come from shouting affirmations in the mirror. It comes from keeping promises in private. Every morning you rise when the alarm rings. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you're voting for the person you want to become. You're sculpting your destiny one small decision at a time. Think about it. A sculptor doesn't carve a masterpiece in one strike. He chips away slowly, deliberately, knowing that every blow brings him closer to perfection. That's what consistency does. It carves out your greatness from the stone of mediocrity. The world won't give you a standing ovation for your daily discipline. It will mock your grind, question your obsession, and doubt your path until the results become too loud to ignore. Then they'll call you lucky. Luck is what the world calls consistency when it finally pays off. So stop looking for motivation and start building systems. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your habits. If your habits are weak, your dreams will crumble under the weight of inconsistency. But if your habits are strong, there's nothing this world can throw at you that can shake you from your purpose. That's the real game, to be consistent not only when it's easy, but especially when it's not. Because the moments you want to quit the most are the exact moments destiny is watching the closest. There's a point in every journey where consistency feels like punishment. You wake up tired, you show up drained, you give your all, and life gives nothing back. You start to wonder if it's even worth it. If all those early mornings and sleepless nights are leading anywhere at all. And that's where most people stop. Not because they were weak, but because they forgot that the valley always comes before the view. Every mountain tests you before it reveals its summit. Every storm breaks you before it clears your sky. The path to greatness was never meant to be easy. It was designed to filter out the uncommitted. Listen, you can't claim destiny if you're allergic to discomfort. Growth is not supposed to feel good. The pain you're avoiding is the very fire that forges your strength. Every repetition, every failure, every silent night where you push through instead of giving up, that's not wasted effort. That's muscle. That's maturity. That's mastery. See, consistency is not about perfection. It's about persistence. It's not about never falling. It's about never staying down. Abraham Lincoln lost more elections than most people ever run for. He faced public humiliation, personal tragedy, and defeat after defeat, but he never stopped showing up. And that's why his name is remembered, not for his failures, but for his perseverance. You want to be great. Then you must learn to walk through repetition like a soldier walks through rain, without complaint, without hesitation, without losing rhythm. Because when life throws its hardest punches, your routine becomes your armor. Your discipline becomes your weapon. Your consistency becomes your shield. The truth is, greatness doesn't belong to the talented. It belongs to the trained. It belongs to the ones who can show up broken and still perform with precision. It belongs to the ones who don't need applause to keep going. You want to know what real power is? It's doing it again and again and again. Even when your emotions have checked out, even when nobody sees you, even when your results don't yet match your effort, you do it again, because consistency is faith in motion. It's believing that the seed you planted will grow, even when the soil looks barren. You don't dig up your seed every morning to check if it's growing. You water it, you nurture it, and you trust the process. That's consistency. That's belief. But here's the twist. The longer you stay consistent, the more life will test you. The universe doesn't hand greatness to the impatient. It delays results to measure your loyalty. It hides progress to see if you still show up without applause. It removes the audience to find out if you were ever serious or just performing. And that's why few ever reach their potential, because consistency demands identity. You can't fake it. You can't cheat it. You either are consistent or you aren't. Ask yourself, what story are you writing in your daily habits? Because your actions are your autobiography. Every day you write another page, some days filled with progress, some with procrastination. But when your story is told, what will it say about you? That you started strong, but faded when it got hard. Or that you kept swinging until the walls finally broke. Your legacy isn't built in grand gestures. It's built in quiet moments of repetition. The workouts when you were exhausted. The studying when your mind was numb. The extra call when your voice was gone. The decision to rise when you could have rested. That's the invisible grind that builds visible results. And hear me, the greatest mistake you can make is expecting quick results from long-term work. You can't plant a seed today and eat fruit tomorrow. The tree doesn't grow faster because you're impatient. It grows because the roots are deepening, unseen, silent, strong. You want success? Then stop asking how long it will take and start asking how long you're willing to stay consistent. Because once you become consistent, truly, unshakably consistent, the timeline stops mattering. You don't need guarantees. You don't need applause. You don't even need to see results right away. You just keep going, because you know it's only a matter of time before the world catches up to your work. Every masterpiece in history was built brick by brick. Every victory, every innovation, every revolution born from relentless persistence. Carnegie built steel from sweat. Edison built light from failure. Oprah built empires from rejection. Disney built magic from bankruptcy. They all shared one unbreakable thread: consistency that refused to die. That's what transforms effort into excellence. That's what turns routine into revolution. So ask yourself, are you showing up only when it feels good, or are you showing up because it's who you are? Because if you can stay consistent through the unseen seasons, life will reward you in the visible ones. And when it finally does, it won't be a surprise. It'll be the moment you were built for. Purpose. That's the heartbeat of consistency. Because without purpose, discipline dies in repetition. Without a why, the how loses meaning. See, the strongest force on earth isn't talent, it's conviction. It's that unshakable belief that your life means something more than convenience, more than comfort, more than momentary pleasure. You can't be consistent about something you don't care about. That's why so many people start and stop, because they're chasing approval, not alignment. They're working for recognition instead of working from purpose. But when you move with purpose, when your vision becomes oxygen, you stop needing motivation. You stop needing reminders. You stop needing anyone to push you. Purpose becomes the fuel that never runs out. The most dangerous human being alive is the one who has found meaning in his grind. Because once you know why you're fighting, no obstacle can make you quit. Think about the legends again. Lincoln didn't fight for power. He fought for unity. Mandela didn't endure prison because it was noble. He did it because freedom was worth the pain. Martin Luther King Jr. didn't march because it was easy. He marched because he couldn't live another day in silence. Purpose gave them consistency. Consistency gave them immortality. That's the formula, not magic, not luck, not shortcuts. Purpose plus consistency equals legacy. But purpose isn't something you find in a book. It's something you build through struggle. You discover it in the trenches. When life strips away your comfort and forces you to remember why you started. And once you have it, you protect it with everything you've got. Because the world will try to distract you with noise, with comfort disguised as peace. But real peace doesn't come from rest. It comes from progress. Don't let comfort seduce you into mediocrity. Don't let distractions dilute your focus. Because every time you choose comfort over commitment, you weaken your consistency. That's why adaptability matters. Consistency doesn't mean doing the same thing forever. It means staying committed to the mission even when the method changes. You can't let your ego marry your habits. The same routine that got you started might not be the one that gets you to the next level. The world evolves, and so must you. The best leaders, the greatest creators, the most unstoppable humans are not rigid. They're resilient. They bend, but they don't break. They adjust, but they don't abandon. When Edison's first 1,000 experiments failed, he didn't quit, he adapted. When Ford's early cars broke down, he didn't hide, he rebuilt. When Jobs was fired from Apple, he didn't disappear. He came back stronger and changed the world. That's adaptability. That's growth in motion. And here's the beauty. Consistency and adaptability are not opposites. They're partners. One keeps you grounded, the other keeps you growing. The goal isn't to be stubborn. The goal is to be unbreakable. There's a difference between quitting and evolving. Quitting ends the story. Evolving rewrites it. You can't control every storm, but you can control your sails. And sometimes the wind isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. It's showing you a new direction, a new rhythm, a new way to climb higher. Resilience is what allows consistency to survive the unpredictable. It's what keeps the fire alive when the winds change. Because let's be real, there will be seasons where nothing makes sense, where the people you helped walk away, where the plans you built fall apart, where the road ahead feels foggy and your own mind becomes your enemy. But that's where the real transformation begins. That's where the weak fold and the relentless rise. Resilience isn't the absence of pain. It's the mastery of it. It's turning your wounds into wisdom, your losses into lessons, and your failures into fuel. When life breaks you, don't resist the breaking. Let it rebuild you. Every fracture is an invitation to fortify your foundation. Every scar is proof that you've survived battles most people never even dared to fight. You've got to stop asking, why me? And start saying, try me. Because the truth is, if you only stay consistent when things are perfect, you'll never make it. Real consistency is proven in chaos. It's easy to grind when the sun is shining, but champions are forged in the storm. When everything's falling apart and you still show up, still give your best, still move forward, that's when destiny starts paying attention. Every hardship you endure is shaping you into the kind of person who can hold success when it finally arrives, because success is heavy, purpose is heavy, leadership is heavy. You can't carry them with soft hands. So if life's breaking you right now, understand this. It's not punishment, it's preparation. The pain you're feeling is not the end, it's the weight room of destiny. And every rep you take, every tear you shed, every doubt you fight, it's building strength in places you didn't know you had. Keep showing up, keep doing the work. Keep believing that this struggle is shaping the version of you that the future needs. Because one day, when you look back, you'll realize that the storm didn't destroy you, it revealed you. There will come a day when everything you've done in silence starts to speak. When every unseen hour, every lonely night, every moment you thought was wasted, suddenly forms a picture so clear, it takes your breath away. That's the day you realize it was all worth it. Because consistency doesn't just build habits, it builds you. It shapes your identity. It turns maybe into must. It transforms fragile dreams into unbreakable destinies. Every morning you rose when you didn't want to, that was character forming. Every time you showed up without applause, that was faith growing. Every day you gave your best without reward, that was legacy in motion. The process is slow. The results are invisible, but the transformation is inevitable. See, you don't just do consistency, you become it. It becomes who you are, a mindset, a rhythm, a heartbeat that refuses to skip. That's the secret the world won't tell you. Success isn't found, it's forged. It's not something you meet by accident. It's something you grow into through the daily decisions no one sees. And when you live like that, when your consistency becomes your language, you stop chasing opportunities. Opportunities start chasing you. You stop begging for doors to open because your consistency starts breaking them down. You stop trying to prove yourself because your results start speaking louder than your words ever could. There's something magnetic about a person who refuses to quit, something divine about the one who keeps showing up no matter the circumstances. The world can't ignore someone who refuses to disappear. Remember, time bends for the consistent. The universe moves for the disciplined. Life eventually bows to those who refuse to stop walking. Consistency isn't glamorous, but it's godlike. It's the quiet, daily act of creation. It's the whisper that says, I'm still here, even after the failures, even after the heartbreak, even after the world stopped believing. Every day you rise again, you're declaring war on mediocrity. Every day you execute without excuses, you're rewriting your story. Every day you move forward, even 1 inch, you're proving to life that you're unbreakable. Because here's the truth. Greatness doesn't happen in a single explosion of glory. It happens in a million quiet sparks of discipline. It's the athlete training in the dark. It's the writer rewriting a sentence until it bleeds truth. It's the dreamer who keeps building after the world has stopped watching. Those are the ones who change history. You think destiny comes to the loud. No, destiny comes to the consistent. The loud get attention. The consistent earn respect. The loud get followers. The consistent build kingdoms. And one day, when your consistency meets your opportunity, that's when destiny ignites. That's when everything clicks. That's when the years of silence turn into a symphony so powerful that the world can't help but listen. But until then, you keep going. You keep building. You keep trusting. Because the moment you stop showing up is the moment you stop growing. Your consistency is your covenant between who you are and who you're becoming. It's the bridge between potential and power. So when you feel tired, don't rest in weakness, rest in purpose. When you feel lost, don't surrender, adjust. When you feel invisible, don't fade focus. Because one day, that focus will turn into fire. That fire will turn into power. And that power will turn into a legacy that outlives you. People will look at your life and say, how did they do it? And they'll never understand it wasn't luck, it wasn't genius, it wasn't timing. It was the relentless, ruthless, unshakable power of consistency. It was the 4 a.m. mornings when no one cared, the 1,000 failures you learned from, the moments you refused to give up when everyone else did. That's what built you. That's what crowned you. That's what turned your name into a testament of resilience. You've got to understand, Consistency is the purest form of faith because it's easy to believe when the evidence is visible, but it takes divine courage to believe when nothing's working. That's what the greats all shared. Faith in the unseen, fire in the uncertain, discipline in the dark. Edison believed in the light before the world ever saw it. Jobs believed in the revolution before a single iPhone existed. Oprah believed in her voice before the world gave her a microphone. They didn't wait for validation. They stayed consistent until the world had no choice but to validate them. That's the power you hold. That's the fire inside you. So hear me. If today you feel unseen, keep going. If today you feel stuck, keep going. If today you feel like your effort doesn't matter, keep going, because consistency doesn't lie. The work you do in faith will one day become the proof you live in. And when that day comes, when everything you've been grinding for finally arrives, you'll realize something beautiful. It wasn't the reward that changed you, it was the process. It was the consistency, the repetition, the faith, the fire. That's what made you unstoppable. So stand tall. Look at the mountain ahead and smile, because you've already proven you can climb. Now it's just a matter of time. Every rep, every step, every moment of silence, every sleepless night, it's all building something eternal. Keep showing up, keep fighting, keep believing, because one day, when your story is told, they won't talk about how fast you rose. They'll talk about how long you stood. And that is the power of relentless consistency.